Assalamu alaikum. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. In the name of Allah, the most beneficent and the most merciful. Guys, again I'm going to solve the question. The question is find the domain of y is equal to log base 2 pi plus 2 sine inverse 3 minus x divided by 7 divided by pi. This is the question, right? Y is equal to log 2 pi plus 2 sine inverse 3 minus x divided by 7 divided by pi. Okay, I said to you already that if you have a so complicated questions, don't worry. We know the core concept of domain. We know the core concept of log. Okay, and using that strategy, using that concept, we will solve the question and we will find out the domain, right? Okay, so here you can say you have to see only this part only, log 2. It means the graph will be, this base is 2, so it means the graph is always like this way. This point will be always 1, 0, okay, the point A, and when it reaches to 2, the another point will be 2, 1, right? So this is point B and this is 1. This is the graph of log 2x. Okay, so if you have log 2x means log base 2x, the domain must be always greater than 0. We will take only this condition and we will solve this question, right? So x must be greater than 0. Here if you see pi plus 2, here I'm going to write down the answer. Okay, so you can say here pi plus 2 sine inverse 3 minus x divided by 7 whole divided by pi must be greater than 0. See, this is just like a x. Consider that this is x. Okay, so this one must be greater than 0. Okay, now you can say pi is a rational number, this pi, this 2. Now here you can say, here we have already one question involved. You can say one function is involved, right? Here you can say we have sine inverse 3 minus x divided by 7. Okay, this is already a function. So what will you do? You have to solve this question first. This one, can you see? Because sine inverse, as we know, and I already explained in my previous video, that the sine inverse x is defined when the x is from -1 to 1. Okay, so not each and every value of x the sine inverse exists. Okay, so here I am going to give you the basic idea for the sine inverse. If you forget that, for example, if you have sine inverse x, right? If you have sine inverse x, then the domain must be from -1 to 1. I told you this in my previous videos, right? So just take this condition only. The x must be from -1 to 1. If you have another value of x, the function does not exist, right? So you have to say that the value of x must be from -1 to 1. Okay, and here we can see we have this one. So first we will solve this equation. So firstly I will solve. So first I will solve this question. This one, sine inverse, you have sine inverse, this is your function, right? Sine inverse 3 minus x, your function is what? Have to consider this one. Okay, this one 3 minus x, because this is sine inverse, right? You can write here, your function is this one. The function is sine inverse 3 minus x divided by 7, right? This is 7. So for this one, you say sine inverse x. So x must be from -1 to 1. So here we have sine inverse 3 minus x. Sine 3 minus x divided by 7, right? So I want to check what value of x I just plug in here and the sine inverse exists, right? So we will take this condition. So here this is x and here we have this is x. So we will say 3 minus x by 7 must be what? -1 to 1. And by this condition we can find out x, right? And then we will see that sine inverse exists, right? If sine inverse exists, then we will continue this one, right? Okay, so how will you solve this question? So just multiply it by 7 here. 7, this is -1. 3 minus x divided by 7 multiplied by 7 and 1 into 7, right? Here you can say I just multiplied by 7 here, 7 here, 7 here. So what is the answer here? You can say here we have -7. This one cancels. You have 3 minus x and you have 7, right? After then you can just subtract -3 on both sides. So this is -3, this is -3, this is -3. So your equation would be -10, this one, and -3 plus 3 cancel, you have -x. And after then you have what? 7 minus 3, which is 4, right? Again guys, I am going to divide by minus here, right? So whenever in inequality we are going to divide by minus, the sign of inequality change, right? So here I am going to change this one and this one, right? So this is what? This must be this one and this must be this one. This will be x and here is what? 10 and here is what? A -4. Or you can say x is greater than equal to what? -4 less than equal to what? 10. So here we can find it. See here. Here we can find the domain for this one. The domain of this function is this one, -4 to 10, right? The domain, I just got it, right? The domain for this function is -4 to 10. It means we can take a number -4, -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we know the number -4 to 10. If we take this one, that this function exists. When this function exists, the whole thing must be greater than 0. When this is greater than 0, log 2 exists. Log with base 2 exists, right? So it's so easy, but I want to tell you something because it already has two functions. One is this one and one is whole one. So do one thing, we are going to check individually, okay? So we will check -4 and 10, right? We will check and we will see that either this condition is true or false. This is very important point, right? So I'm sure that -4 to 10, when you just put it here, it's always greater than 0. But you have to check it because it already has two functions. One is this one and one is a rational function, right? So I'm going to check here. So and if this is okay, then we can say the final domain of the given function is this one. Okay, I'm going to check it. Okay, I'm going to check this one. Okay, I'm going to check -4 first, right? Okay, -4. I'm going to take it -4 here. So what you have, it's just I want to see that this condition is satisfied or no. Okay, so checking. Check. Okay, I want to check it. Okay, it's greater than 0 or no, right? Okay, so this is pi, this is 2, this is sine inverse, and this is 3 minus, and what is x? -4. So write down -4 divided by 7 and then divided by pi, right? So this is pi, this is 2, this is sine inverse, and this is 3 minus plus 3 plus 4, 7, 7 divided by 7 and divided by what? Pi, right? So you can say this is pi, this is 2, and this is what? Sine inverse. As I told you, 7 by 7 is 1. For sine inverse, x is always the domain of this function must be -1 to 1, and alhamdulillah we have this value 1, so we can say this is pi. So when you solve this question, this is pi plus 2. Sine inverse 1 is pi by 2, and this is what? Pi. So 2 cancel. You have what? Pi plus pi divided by pi. So pi plus pi, 2 pi by pi, so pi cancel now. You can say we got 2 and 2 is greater than 0. It means this condition satisfied. It means we can say that the domain start from -4, right? And then it's continue. Now what we have to do, we will check at 10. And again guys, as you know, when you just -2 here, right? When I put -4 here, we got 2. So if we got 2, if I put it here, log 2, and this is 2, so the answer is 1. Yes or no? We can find the answer. The answer is 1, right? Because this is what? 2. So we can say the final range is what? 1. Means the whole graph, if you go and check by mathway.com, you will find the maximum range, the maximum value is 1, right? Because this is 2, when you put here 2, this is 2, so log base 2, the answer is 1. Okay, now for our knowledge, I am going to check 10, right here, and we will see that this condition is true or false. Okay, so let's see again. Okay, so this is very important question. Please don't say that your domain is -4 to 10. Okay, just check. Okay, because this already has one function involved here. So now I'm going to check. This is what it's here checking. Okay, so you can say we have here pi. This is pi. This is 2 sine inverse 3 minus x. Here x I'm going to take 10 direct 10. Okay, so I'm going to put here 10 divided by 7. For this function we don't have any problem because 100% the domain for this function is this one, right? Okay, so divided by what? Pi, and this is what? Greater than 0, right? So this is pi plus 2 sine inverse 3 minus 10 is -7, -7 divided by 7, and this is what? Pi, right? No need to write this one. You will solve and then later on you will check it, right? Okay, so what is the answer here? So you can say pi plus 2 is sine inverse. This is -1, and here you can say this is pi, right? So the value here, you can say this is pi plus 2. Sine inverse -1, it will be what? You can say -1 sine inverse 1 divided by pi, right? Okay. After then I'm going to solve again here because we don't have a space. Solve here again. Okay, so you have what? You have pi, okay, plus 2, and this is what? -1. Sine inverse 1 is pi by 2 divided by pi. You can say this is pi plus minus 2 cancel. You have pi divided by pi minus pi, 0 by pi means 0. Oh my god, you find the 0, and this is not good for this function because 0 is greater than 0. No, this condition fail. And here you can say, if you put here log 2 0, if this becomes 0, for example, for a while, if this become what? 0, the function does not exist. Again I said to you, this x is not 0, this x must be greater than 0. So it means we cannot take the value of x 10, we will always consider less than 10, right? So you can say 9.999, okay, so that the range would go to -infinity, right? -infinity. So remember, don't take 10 here. If you will not check, you will just write down the domain is from -4 to 10. So this portion will be okay, but this will be wrong, because when you put 10 here, okay, this value will be 0 and this function does not exist. So the domain of this function will be okay. So you can say the domain of this function the domain of this function will be x greater than equal to -4 but less than 10, or in brackets you can say -4 to 10, but use this bracket. This is the domain of this function -4 to 10. So when you put -4 to 10, this function exists. Otherwise, except this number, the function does not exist. Hope guys you understand. Please watch this video again and again, and still if you face the problem, just mention the comments. Whenever we have a time, I will reply you. Take care. Bye bye. Assalamu alaikum.